Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, an exciting milestone has been reached on the lower level layout here. We will be taking a look at our completed Winter Village double track loop on Mills here. Really excited about getting this set up and in place now. As part of that, we'll also run a couple of trains around here. Should be a lot of fun to see. Couple things to note. First off, we have not connected this over to the T-Junction, which will give it access to the rest of the lower level layout yet. That will be coming very soon afterwards. I'm going to be doing an initial connection point over there to get these two track areas together. But I've got some longer term thoughts on how we might make that an extra cool chunk of track over there. So more to come on that. First, let's take a tour around the Winter Village area here and talk about a couple of the things we had to do to get everything to fit in here, and to quickly go over a few of the next steps that we will be working on with this part of the layout. So you can see we've got two trains set up here ready to go for the inaugural running of trains around the Winter Village loop of the lower level track layout. The track area here is made up of 4 corner modules. So these corner Mills modules have an outer R120 and an inner R104 radius set of track. Each corner module is 12 Mills modules in total. So 4 for the out, 4 for the middle part of the corner, and 4 for the in part of the corner over here. So 12 all told. So that is 48 Mills modules in total around the entirety of the loop here. Now, we will be starting to work on some interior pieces shortly here. This is where our Winter Village is going to go. I've got a number of different ideas for modules and things that I'd like to see in there. It is worth noting that that interior space is basically 4 Mills modules this way, 4 Mills modules that way. So it's going to be 16 in total, 16 Mills modules that we'll have for putting our Winter Village buildings, any other scenes and set pieces that we want to build. We also have a number of plans for this exterior area here. There is actually quite a bit of real estate around the track on these 4 corner modules. So I think we're going to have a lot of opportunity to build some interesting things here. So looking forward to that. Now, to make everything fit the way I wanted to here, you'll notice we made a couple modifications to the table legs. So we cut part of the 2x4 that was coming into the lower level layout there. We cut that and we flipped it around so it is sideways, and that gave us more clearance basically at this end of the Winter Village loop. We also had to make the same sort of change over there. Now, different angle here on the Winter Village portion of the layout. Now, one of the things you might be thinking, Adam, are you worried at all about the support and sort of weight load that the table above is going to be able to support now with those legs changed? And not really. I think I took some careful precautions. Even when we were building these tables originally, we put a lot of extra support in above and beyond what I think was required. So, when you're looking at most of the corners of these tables, we've got double 2x4s there to provide a lot of support on each corner of the table. With the change that we made to this particular leg here, we've still got, quite a bit of support even on that modified 2x4. with the, it just being turned sideways now. I didn't do that on this end over here. You can see I just took that chunk out there for the time being. I can go and add another bit of 2x4 in here once I have finished getting the Winter Village layout part of the track down here interfaced with the T-Junction there. Once that track is all connected together, it'll give me, sort of a more final look at the footprint needed by the Winter Village loop here. And, we can add a bit of additional 2x4 support here. We can fill out this corner a little bit to make sure that any base plates, etc., above it are properly braced. But in general, feeling pretty confident about the changes here. Just some minor things really that we had to do to this one end of the table in this part of the layout. And, really happy now that we have the, call it the Uber Winter Village loop here now all set up. Love the fact that we've got the larger radius corners on this part of the layout, just like we do on the upper layout and the rest of the lower level layout. That's going to let us run pretty much any train that we want over here in the Winter Village. We can have the Lego Christmas train running easily in there. We can have our Brick Tracks North Pole Railroad down here running. So looking forward to rotating through a number of trains on this part of the lower level layout and seeing how they all perform. But I think we've come up with a solution here that is going to be sort of win-win-win. Really excited about the trains we'll be able to run here. Excited about the footprint that we've got for the interior part there for the Winter Village buildings and other scenes and set pieces that we want to build. And, happy with how this is ultimately going to interface with the rest of the lower level layout here as it continues to progress along. So I think next up, we should fire up these trains and start them running around the double track loop here. Really cool to see both trains moving around the track here. Really excited about the number of trains we should be able to ultimately have running around track in the Lego room here at one time. Obviously, the Winter Village loops will connect into that T-junction, so the trains from here could go out onto the mainline loop if we wanted, but they don't need to. So in the case of trains running exclusively here on this track, two here at the same time as, 2 to potentially 4 eventually running on the other part of the lower level layout here. Really excited about the potential that opens up. But even with that, we have the opportunity as well to have trains run the full loop. They could run around the Winter Village loop here and head back out onto the main line and come back around again. Should be really cool to try out some of those possibilities as the different track chunks get connected together here. Let's switch to a different viewpoint for this. And as I mentioned before, really cool to have most of the track covered over here with the Trix Bricks snowy railway ties. Really nice job they do with their railway tie pieces, and I think it's cool to have the snowy ones on the track over here in this part of the lower level layout. Adds a lot, I think. And we have a whole bunch more of the 1x1s, which we'll be adding around these remaining track pieces that don't have them yet. but we do need a few more of the 1x4s for finishing off the far side track over there. So I'll be working on getting those in an upcoming Tricks Bricks order. But you know, I think these really add a lot, and happy that we can have them on the track over here. So now the question is, what next? And the answer is a whole bunch of projects, because this really just sort of removes the barriers to a whole bunch of things that we want to be working on down here. One of the first things obviously will be making the attachment point over there for the loop to connect into the T-Junction. We'll be doing that with the track piece that we had before, basically just a simple switch over there. It'll only be the outer main line that can initially connect over to the rest of the layout. I do have thoughts that'll probably be a few weeks away at least on how we could get basically access for both of the Winter Village track lines to get, you know, access over to the main line there. It's going to require a few different track pieces, so we'll be waiting on that in the short term. But for the time being, we'll get the one connection point over to the T-Junction there, so the trains can run in and out of the Winter Village. Really excited about that. We will also be working on getting some initial building placement and setup for the interior Mills modules that'll be inside the Winter Village loop here. With that, we already have a number of cool Christmas themed, you know, winter themed lighting kits from Brick Stuff that I would like to also integrate over here as we are putting that all together. So it's going to be a lot of building and lighting over here on the Winter Village side. We'll get that connection to the rest of the main line over there. And then it's going to be the push to get the rest of the lower level layout mainline track all onto Mills, which is coming along fairly well. So we'll make that push so that ultimately we can have a complete set of track down here on the lower level layout that is all mounted on Mills, which will be an incredible milestone. Super excited about that. Like this is a fun sort of intermediate milestone, but it's going to be really cool when we're able to sort of run the maximum number of trains around down here across this loop and the mainline loop over there. So we will be pushing ahead on getting that all squared away. So lots of fun stuff ahead down here on the lower level layout. And, you know, that's on top of all the ongoing projects we have on the tabletop layout and around the Lego room in general. So pretty exciting times, really happy with how things are coming together and looking forward to continuing to share the journey with you guys. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of those upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.